If I had my way, everything would be so nice. This world would be like Paris. No, it would be a paradise. No one would ever have to say, I'm gonna get my wish someday. All one would have to do is say, this is my order, if you may.
Welcome to another episode of The School Without Walls. I'm host and founder, Dr. Antonio Hobbs. My guest today is Miss Joni Alexander. I'll be with her in just a few minutes, but I have a few things to say prior to presenting her to you. I want to talk and remind the public of the purpose of this program. It's called The School Without Walls. It's designed to elevate the quality of the education in our community with emphasis on the African American community, which is a segment of the community that I'm a part of by race, and I'm doing all I can to bring it up to par. We provide education with an emphasis on the achievement of African Americans, and they serve as role models. So Miss Joni Alexander is not only here as a guest, she's a role model, she's an achiever, and we hope that will motivate some of you young people to become achievers also. Glad to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So well, let us do this. Let us start off by you telling the community who Joni Alexander is, where she was born, whether she has living parents, if you'd like to mention that, siblings and things of that nature.
Okay. Which camera would you like me to look at?
This one right here,
Okay.
if you want to speak directly to the people. Normally we are just talking.
Okay.
We're just visiting, just talking. But if you have something special to say about your business, you might look through that one.
Okay. So my name is Joni Alexander, born and raised in
you
Pine
looking
Bluff.
at me?
Oh,
You talking
sorry.
to me?
My name is Joni Alexander, born and raised in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. My mom, she's a Surratt. Her main name. My father is an Alexander. My father passed when I was 14 years old. He was a detective for the Pine Bluff Police Department. I have one sibling, my sister Kim. My mom is number 12 out of 14.
Oh, it's sort of a large family.
Yes, very large family.
And what was that maiden name?
Surratt.
Surratt. I've heard of some Surratts.
S-U-R-R-A-T-T.
I've heard of some Surratts here. Okay.
It's a lot of them. So.
Okay. What is your sibling younger or older?
No, she's older. She just moved back to the United States from South Korea.
Is that right? How long was she there?
5 years.
Was she in the military?
No, she's a government civilian employee working with logistics.
I see. Okay, that seems to be an interesting job. Okay.
I attended school at St. Peter's.
You're Catholic.
I'm not, but I did attend private school at a Catholic school.
Did you graduate there?
No, I left St. Peter's second grade. My sister went all the way through, and you know, St. Peter's was just elementary, and she went to St. Joseph. But I left St. Peter's and went to Chapel School District, Washington Chapel School District.
I see.
Yep, graduated in 2007. So I graduated on May 17th. My birthday was May 19th, and I moved to Virginia May 20th.
How about that you got out of town in a hurry?
I was out of here. And the thing is, I didn't want to leave. I felt like my mom was making me leave, but it's one of the best decisions, or one of the best things I've ever done, because that exposure has really helped me grow as a person.
It will do it. What did you do in Virginia?
Well, I attended Hampton University, which is a HBCU in Hampton, Virginia. I transferred later from Hampton and attended Towson University.
Where?
Towson University, which is in Maryland.
Okay, Maryland.
Right after Baltimore, in that area. I transferred from Towson and I moved back to Virginia, to Richmond, Virginia, and I graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University in sociology and religious studies.
Any particular reason you attended those three different schools? Were you having trouble? Were they putting you out?
No, and every time I left, I was on good academic standing. So, hey, let me put that out there first.
Okay.
I'm kind of the free-spirited one in the family. When I want to move or travel, I don't let anything hold me back. So I did get my degree, fortunately.
That's wonderful. Speaking of a free spirit, I like astrology. What is your astrological sign?
I am a Taurus.
You're a Taurus.
Yes, sir.
One of those bad bulls.
The most loyal.
Yeah, most loyal, strong personality.
What is your zodiac?
I'm the Pisces.
My father was a Pisces.
Is that right?
I like Pisces.
Yeah. One thing positive about the Pisces is they're supposed to be among the higher spiritual ones of us. Yeah, and they are. The water is symbolic of a number of things. For example, they're more likely to work with many different groups than maybe a Taurus, because Taurus might take a position like a bull symbol, whereas water fits, if it's a round vessel, it will fit into that vessel. If it's a square vessel, it will fit into that vessel. So it can roll with the punches differently than other signs. And it is the one that has more revelation from the others, from the creed and so forth. But so much so good for that. We have a couple of minutes for this first section. Time flies. Okay, tell us about your organization. What are you doing back here?
So, oh goodness, I moved back to Pine Bluff, not planning on moving back here.
You did not?
No, sir. I was here visiting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I got a wonderful opportunity to serve as assistant to Mayor Hollingsworth, and you know, the rest is history. And I now have the nonprofit Youth Engagement Services, which stands for YES. Well, the acronym is YES. It stands for Youth Engagement Services.
Youth Engagement
Services.
Services.
Yes, sir.
And it's YES.
And so when I moved back to Pine Bluff, I've always had a heart for kids. I was an elementary school teacher overseas in South Korea.
You were?
Yes, sir. Kids, I have always just had a knack, you know, for them. When I moved back to Pine Bluff, I was dumbfounded that 47% of our youth live below the poverty line.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was crazy. You know, that's a state of emergency to me.
It is a state of emergency.
That means that half of our kids will be more susceptible to at-risk behaviors.
And do you know most of those are black? African American?
Yes, sir.
That even makes it worse.
It definitely does. There's so many things that comes with that. So I created Youth Engagement Services with some support from a few community leaders. And our goal is basically to empower our youth, give them a voice, and provide services and other programs for them.
Let us stop on that for the first quarter of this program. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Those of you who have just joined us, I'm Dr. Anthony Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest is Miss Joni Alexander, who is a native of this city. However, she's traveled quite a bit, gotten a lot of experience, and she's returned to render service here by working with our youth. I didn't write down the name, but it's called YES.
Yes,
what is that acronym?
Youth Engagement Services.
Youth.
Engagement.
Youth Engagement
Services.
And it's called YES, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we were talking about the population was from second grade to 2. Second grade to 12th, was it? What was it?
Yes, sir.
2 to 12? I made a note.
Second grade through 12th grade.
Second grade to 12th grade. Now, tell us, what do you plan to do with those students? Do you have a teaching curriculum? Tell us about the scheduling and so forth.
Well, can I start with our main goal, phase one, what we're trying to do now?
Yes, phase one.
So phase one, what we're trying to do is get all the other nonprofits who focus on youth together in a room, because Pine Bluff has so many great nonprofits that focus on the youth, but together we can pull more resources and be stronger.
Good.
And that is the main goal. So once we get them together, we'll have quarterly workshops, monthly meetings, and an annual conference. And we also want to provide services for the youth in those nonprofits before we start recruiting the youth for YES. Because all the kids have a need, and if we can work with different nonprofits, we can meet that need at different categories for the kids.
I see. Give me an example of, I have a nonprofit corporation called the Human Elevation Love Project, Help Inc. And mine is unique in as much as we don't deal with a lot of individuals like you're talking about. I stress mentoring to young African American males particularly, but definitely if there's a female that needs to do so. But I'm trying to save the male, and I advocate this throughout churches and other organizations. So there won't be likely a group that could attend.
Oh, it definitely would be a group. Yes, sir.
But they would come from the various other organizations, like this church. They won't be coming directly from me.
But that'll still work. We want to get us all in a room so we can create a strategic plan and get more funding when we work together and focus on different missions and goals, but trying to help the whole body of our youth.
I see. Now, once we get this group in the room together, then there will be one body that will receive the funds, or would it be all the dozens of bodies that are represented there?
Everyone that is a part of that collaborative effort.
That would become one body.
Yes, sir. They would still be their separate nonprofits, and they can still go get their individual funding from donors. That's, we have no control over that, but we want to put us all together, create a strategic plan so we can go after larger amounts of funding.
Now, when you say we, that's throwing me off a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
See, let's say we have a dozen different organizations. That would be a we.
Yes, sir.
If we had two, that would be a we. Now, once you get them in a room together and they agree on your idea, and this large funding, will it come to a unique body, new body composed of this 12 groups, or will it come from?
It'll come to that body of the 12 groups.
Okay, and that might be used for?
When we create the strategic plan, whatever projects they mention in that, that's what it'll go towards the funding for.
Now, would you be the overseer of that? Since you're coming up with the idea?
Well, we would still have a board for checks and balances.
You'd have a board?
Yes, sir.
Over the 12 groups? I'm just saying
if it was 12, yes, sir.
You'd have a board over umbrella of all of that.
And we would want some people of that group included, for checks and balances.
Into
that,
the organization.
Let's call it the Alliance, the Nonprofit Alliance.
They would like to send representatives there.
Yes, sir.
But the money would come to YES, right?
But it would be a separate account. Okay, I put it like this. You have your nonprofit and I have YES, right?
Yeah.
We'll still get our individual donations, but that doesn't pull from this pool of the large amount that'll go towards the full alliance. YES has no control over that. Once the funds are appropriated for a specific goal, they will be given towards to the nonprofit.
Would you have to have a new name when you get this collective group?
Yes.
Other than YES, other than Help Inc. and Links and so forth, you have to have a new name.
A different account and everything. But I would like for that group to come up with, their name, something they feel comfortable with.
And they would apply for, say, $500,000. It would come to them, not to YES.
No, it wouldn't be YES. No, it wouldn't be appropriated to YES to oversee it. It'll be to this group.
I got you. But YES, in the meantime,
it's the
has
organizer.
applied for money over here for YES to operate. Maybe you got a couple $100,000. That's YES's money.
Yes, sir.
Help Inc. might have $100,000. That's Help Inc.'s
That's your money. Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the people who are listening understand it. If I understand it, perhaps they do too.
Exactly.
So I do understand what you're saying, and it's definitely needed because most of my life I've encountered what you're working with now. And my experience has been with my people, the African Americans. And it's difficult to get us to work together on anything. And that is it's very important that we work on one accord for the big problem.
Definitely.
So you're on course, and I hope you luck, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. I'd like to say briefly, many years ago, I was involved in a situation by which we decided that we would buy food wholesale, and share it among the community. That was the black community, because time was pretty rough then. They could get the food cheaper. And that went well. We got somebody, you would take order, I'd say 2, 3 or 4 dozen folks say, I want this, you know, write it down, go to the wholesale place and get it. And it was just working well. But this guy, without consulting the group, decided he would go to Memphis and get some help, and get more help. This is in Arkansas. He goes, the guy with a big truck coming over there, and next thing they're going away with the money. See, this is what you have to watch.
Yes.
Crooks. You have to really be careful and stuff like that. It's about time for break. We're going to break, and we'll be right back.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Those of you who have just joined us, I'm Dr. Antonio Hobbs, host and founder of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest is Miss Joni Alexander, and she's put forth a beautiful plan. Before we go into talking about the problems that women in general have in America, review quickly what you want us to know about your program. You want us to come together, go do that?
Yes, so earlier I was speaking on the Nonprofit Alliance. We also want the community to become involved with YES. We need everyone from every sector, all the major stakeholders in our community. So if you would like more information, you can email me at contact@pbs.org, or you can visit our website at www.pbs.org.
And one other thing I want you to mention briefly is this curriculum from 2nd grade through 12th. What do you project will be taught?
My main thing I want to do is entrepreneurship, financial guidance, and the law. That's some of the main things I want the kids to know.
How would a 2-year-old fit into that?
Well, not a 2-year-old, a 7-year-old.
Oh, you going to start with the 7th?
Yeah, a 7-year-old, 2nd grade.
Oh, it's 2nd grade.
Yes, sir, not 2 years old.
Okay, 2nd grade, okay. Yeah, they're old enough, 2nd grade.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
definitely.
Right. And then say it one more time, you would be stressing what now?
Entrepreneurship, financial guidance, and the legal system.
Okay. On the next show, we're going to talk more about that, because I want to go into more detail. I like that.
Most definitely.
Now, do you have any curriculum specialists that you're acquainted with that help you set this up, or you plan to do it yourself?
I have met with representatives from Simmons and Reliance Bank, which is 2 local banks here in our city of Pine Bluff, and they are on board to help me with the financial curriculum for the kids when we get to that phase in our program.
When you get to that phase,
sir.
yeah. But then you need academia to set up
most
the
definitely,
other programs.
yes.
The money, they'll take care of that. But you're going to need people who understand the educational system to do that. Okay, so much for that, and I hope you luck on that. And I do invite you back sometime in the future and work with us. Now, I'm concerned about. Let me start this with I'm a poet, writer, and woman is the light of man. Without woman, he's in the dark. He has no sight. Therefore, it's hard for man to know what's wrong, what's right. Woman is the light of man. And from this, I'm saying I am very unhappy with how women are being treated in America. And I know that something is causing it, and I do not believe it's only bad men. So what is it, if you think there's anything that women are doing to cause demise on themselves? Well, anything that women could change to make it healthier for them, a healthy environment in which to live in.
Okay, well, I'm a play devil's advocate because I am a woman, so I have, you know, a perspective. Oftentimes, you know, what is it called? Blaming the victim. You know,
I've heard of that.
Yes, it's when you kind of tell the victim in a circumstance to change. And though, yes, it's a free country, we should be able to do what we want within reason of abiding by the laws. When you blame the victim, you're basically telling them to change their actions so that the person who's committing crimes will stop. My issue with that is, and I'm not trying to go off topic, it's kind of like when we tell our young black men when they're pulled over by the police, don't say anything, don't talk, and they still end up getting shot. You know, sometimes changing your actions isn't going to cause a different result. However, on the other side, do I go running at night alone, even though I could? You know, no, I don't, because I do understand that some people are out there that could, you know, harm me or do something negative. So I see it from both sides. I don't think it's right that women have to change who they are.
I see. In other words, who are they? Who are women?
So women, if a man can go running alone at night and not have the fear of being raped, a woman should be able to do the same thing.
Now let's stop right there. Now, here's a man running in the dark. He's not likely to be raped by a man. Now, you think a woman should have the same right? I won't disagree with that, but does it make sense for her to accept that danger?
Well, I will be.
See, the man does not get raped by men. Seldom do they do rape, but women get raped and killed by men. So what we're talking about is responsibility with freedom.
I think it should be the responsibility of the reality of the situation.
You do.
Even though
you think a woman should do whatever she wants to do.
No, let me finish.
Regardless of how dangerous. Well, hold a minute. That's what I'm hearing you say. Even though it's dangerous to her, she should have a right to go into this. I'm going to change it to this club, half naked and drunk, and expect to be treated like a lady.
No,
that's what I'm saying. See, we have a lot of women are going to nightclubs by themselves. They're dressed very thinly, and then they are killed on their way out. Is there anything that she has done that she might need to change? That's what I'm talking about.
This is what I'm saying. I have to make the complete statement.
Go ahead.
Yes, she has the right to wear whatever she wants to in that club. However, she has to live in the real world mentally. She has to understand that if you go to these certain places or do these certain things, you can potentially be victimized. Is it fair? No, but life really isn't. So, like I said earlier, I don't do certain things even though I should be able to.
As a Christian, you say you're a Christian woman,
yes, sir.
Right? What is the difference in the principles of God for a woman and a man? Do you use that as your guide or your own reasoning? Do you have a guide from your Bible, or are you using your own thoughts?
As far as this conversation we're having right now?
Man and woman's position, Man and woman, is it greater than just what you think or what I think?
Can you give me a scenario?
All right. Did God create man and woman to behave equally in this society in which we live in?
No, we both have our different strong points and our weaker points.
Okay.
I think us together is a stronghold, but we still have differences.
So we're getting ready to conclude, Aunt Miranda. Now we have 1 minute, and we're going to have to close out on it. My position is this: that as a whole, we are living contrary to the natural order of God. And that is, there's a place for a woman and a place for a man, but they're to complement one another.
Yes.
But we live in a society now where women are competing with men, and when you compete, you have an opponent, and the weaker of the two will be destroyed. And then that brings on a lot of conniving that women can do that men can't do. You know, like you're smarter, you think faster.
Well, can I say this really quick?
Yeah, real quick.
How do you expect for someone to know how to deal with someone that they never had in their life?
They can't do it. See, we need teaching. See, the family structure is where the first teachers
right
were.
Now.
Now, if the family is destroyed, the Bible says if the foundation is being destroyed, that's in Psalm, what shall the righteous do? My position is the righteous would be those who are justified by God, and they are the leaders of the congregation of God called preachers. Now, if we cannot get our preachers on base to teach, we shouldn't expect you to be the teacher of the preacher. And that's where we are, I think, and that's demonic. And I think we're becoming, we need to understand, I think, as a culture, that all civilizations that once existed fell because of corruption within it. And I'm very fearful of America standing a decade because of so much I guess if I would quote my president, he deals in false news. We have so much false church, in my opinion, very false. We are doing what we want to do rather than doing what we should do according to the guides. And that's causing Satan to do what he wants to do with Eve. Isn't it about time to go? You can have the final word. Go right ahead. Final word.
I do see the issue that we were discussing, but I think it goes way deeper to how they were raised, who was a part.
How they were raised?
Yes, sir, the men and the women.
Well,
you know,
I agree with that 100%. But if you're not raised according to the plan of God, you're still having destruction.
But what if they don't have a father?
Well, we still have destruction. Somebody has to do something. That's my concern. What can we do? And the only place I know where anything can be done is the church. I don't see it done in the prisons. I don't see it done in the schools, in the political arena. The church is the foundation.
Because preventative methods are far more effective than
See, that's where the teacher has to come from. So we're going to close on that, and hopefully you'll come back sometime in the future. We'll talk about both situations.
Okay.
Your plan of the nonprofit, plus hopefully we can do something to prevent so many of our women from being killed and maimed and destroyed for whatever reason. Okay, Randy, that's it.